Do, 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 do. Oh, okay. Let's see what we got with this. Oh, hey, uh, I'm live. Hi, everybody. How you doing? You're probably wondering what in the hell has Frosty got going on here. Well, today Frosty is going to be answering a question that has come across quite a number of times, and obviously you can see that I'm doing one of the things that I've absolutely said over and over and over. Don't clean your coins. Okay, and I stand by this. And if you guys look at the screen, doesn't matter if you're in vertical or horizontal mode, you will see a banner. This banner says that the coins that I'm going to be showing you today are all counterfeit coins. This is an important distinction. I want you guys to be seeing this, because I am going to show you what the coin looks like pre and post. We're going to talk about what happens when you clean a coin and why it's bad. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, hold up. They're my coins, Frosty. I can do what I want with them. And you're absolutely right. You can do that. But you're not always going to be here. One time in the line of your life, it's going to end. And all the stuff that you have is going to go to somebody else. And you potentially could have a coin that's worth a great deal of money. Cleaning it destroys that. And so I want to make sure that we kind of go through that. Now, here with me, you won't see him in the discussion because I'm showing this particular screen. But with me, I have Eric. Good day, Eric.
Good morning.
And we're going to have just a general chit chat. And we're going to be talking about some of the things that happen as you clean a coin. So again, the coin that you see here is a 1941. Eric, you notice the little SEG here?
The SEG?
Yeah, that shit-eating grin that's on his face.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so from that on out, to keep from swearing for the little young people that may be hearing, I'm going to call that the SEG. Okay, that's that little thing. That's one of the telltale signs on a Lincoln cent. So you go ahead and you can scrub on through this thing, right? And Eric, so let's talk about what's happening as I'm going through and doing this. Now I've got some toothpaste. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's go ahead and do what those, you've seen these channels, right? So now we've got some dish soap, right? And so what's happening to the surface of the coin right now as I'm doing this?
Well, you're putting micro scratches on it. Not only is the toothbrush an abrasive, but the toothpaste itself is an abrasive. So you are actually pulling a layer of copper off.
Scotty's like, you missed a spot. So again, folks, this is something, and again, the banners are really, really important. Everything that I'm going to be showing you today is a counterfeit coin. But what Eric said is exactly right. Right? When you do something like this, there are things you may not see. Now, what else am I doing right now, Eric?
You are doing the same thing, but it's just with a rag.
Right. Okay. Now, a lot of people, now, again, I'm going to pull this off to the side, and I'm going to show you something else. Now, every time I do something with an abrasive surface or a chemical, now that we're going to put that coin back up there, and look at how shiny it is. Yes, unfortunately, there are telltale signs about how bad this is. But if you look at this, you can see, let's see if I can get that with, the light may not work for me. Come on, let's adjust. You can kind of see them. Yeah, it's flat, right? There's no, it don't look like a new penny, Invisible. That's absolutely right. Hey, Paula, good morning. Oh, she's up here in the chat. There we go. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so lonely down here.
I was like, oh, hey, I see Paula in chat. Why isn't she? Oh, wait. Yes, she is. She's here already. So Paula's probably going, what in the world is going on?
I'm like way triggered right now. It's okay. All right.
Okay, so all the coins that I'm going to be showing you are counterfeits. Every one of them are fake. And so what I'm trying to do is to get people to understand why you don't clean your coins. But in order to understand why you don't clean your coins, sometimes you have to see the after effects. You have to see the differences between the coins. Now, the coin that I'm going to show you right now is a real coin. Okay, so I'm going to slide this one off to the side. And I apologize, the light on this is I had the light adjusted what I thought was
That
going to be
41
good.
is fake?
41 is fake.
Even if it wasn't fake, it's a 3 cent or 4 cent. You know, it's something. If you were going to try this, try it on a coin that's junk.
Yeah.
Before you try it on a coin that might actually be worth something.
Here's a beauty. Okay. This is a counterfeit coin. You look at the 1877, you can definitely tell that lettering is wonky. It's definitely off. There's something about the general strike. But this is a counterfeit coin. This actually is a counterfeit coin too. It's actually, it should look more silvery than anything because it's not copper. But when you look at these, you can see that there's a kind of an off coloration. Okay. And now I'm going to show you, I'm going to move this aside and I'm going to put this on something else. So give me just a second because I don't want this particular coin. This is a real coin. Okay. This is an authentic coin. And unfortunately, my camera always wants to make everything white blue. So I've got to figure out how to fix that. But you can see the luster that's in this coin, right? You can see the nice reflective fields that are there. You can see how that light, the different hues of light, depending upon whether it's the microscope light or the light outside. So if I do it this way, you can see the light outside. If I do it that way, it's the microscope light. If I turn it this way, you can see my incandescent light. And so you can see these really nice reflective properties, right? You see a really nice luster. The light isn't necessarily uniform. And it's important when we talk about micro scratches on the surfaces of the coin, what's actually happening when you clean a coin. Now, I'm not going to get down to the microscopic level. I will do that eventually. I want to show you guys some stuff on what happens to the surface of the coin when you clean it at a microscopic level and why it changes the light. But there's something happening. And Paul, you can probably explain this a lot better than I can. But when you have the strike of the coin, when you have the two dies that come together and they hit at that flash moment, there is a temperature between, I think it's like 16 and 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. And what that does is it does something to the surface of the coin. And what it does is it creates that luster. That luster can only be created at that time of impact. And so
that's what I was going to say. That's something you can't fake.
Yeah.
And I
And
have not seen anybody be able to do it yet.
yeah. And so the one thing that's really important to understand about this is that an old worn coin may have lost its luster, but it still has a finish. Okay, I'm going to pull up another coin here. This is oops. Yeah, this is the okay. So this is an older coin. You can see it's not in the same, but you can still see it's got that finish. Okay, you still see that it has it, even though that it's kind of older.
It's actually got a little luster left. Not much, but there's some there.
But you can see, and again, I apologize that my scope isn't a little bit better for you guys, but you can see that it has that reflective property. If I'm going to take this one and put this back over the top of this one, you can see that it's even though there's light shining back off of it because I'm looking at it, when I move it, it's flat. Everything on the surface, every ounce of reflective property is exactly the same. There's no variation in the coin. There's no nothing. But there's some other things within this that you see when you're trying to clean a coin, and that's looking inside the devices. And I will get to that here in just a second. I want to show you, but what I'm talking about, the devices, is like we're looking at the motto, "In God We Trust." So even though the coin around here has been cleaned, you're going to see areas. Now, this is where I had my finger, right? When I put that in there, so you can see that it didn't get down into this crevice. You can see inside the 4. You can see inside the R, the U, inside the E of we. You can see the O and 0 and the D. D's pretty good, but the O has a little bit of gunk in it. You can see this area in G. Obviously, this spot is something that's just on the coin. No matter how much I scrub, that's not coming off. And you can see that there's like little bits of dirt all the way around the end. Okay. And so there are some things we'll kind of talk a little bit more about why you need to, or what you need to look for when you do that. But again, when looking at this is what a regular penny looks like. Okay. Well, a new penny, right? BU plus, and then just one that's brown, and you still see that kind of luster. You still see that surface of the coin, right? You can definitely see that there. So that's important to understand. Now I'm going to move these two coins that are real out of the way, get back to this nastiness, and I'm going to jack up one of these counterfeit coins. Now, this is counterfeit. We can prove that it's counterfeit by a couple different things. Let me use this one. I like this one better. It shows a little bit better. So when you look at this one, the first thing you're going to be doing is looking at that date. The date is definitely off. The 1 is bigger than the 8. The 7 looks about right. The 6 is the wrong style for this particular year. When you flip it over, in general, you can see pitting throughout the coin. The rim it's inset, so the denticles should be at the same level as the rim. But again, you can just see that this is kind of, you don't see really any definition inside the denticles. You see it kind of here and there, but you'll really lose all of your detail. You don't see any detail in the hair. This area right here within the behind the Indian's ear, there's a lot of detail. Normally in an Indian head cent, there's none there. You lose the detail here. You lose the detail in and around the neck. And so there's just some places that you can tell that this coin, obviously the lettering is a little bit off, the wrong font. But this is a 100% counterfeit coin. This coin was sent to me by Ringmaster Ray. And he sent me to this, or he sent me some of these coins to do like demonstrations and stuff like this. So what I'm going to do is if you look at the surface of this coin, you can see it kind of has what people would say was luster, right? Unfortunately, my nose is itching like crazy. Apologize for that. You can see what looks like luster, but again, remember, you see this kind of uniform polishing, right?
Can I just make a quick suggestion before you touch that?
Yeah.
First of all, I would probably use like a one of our, like a Cole US coin.
Yeah, circulated.
Just because you're not going to get the same reaction on a counterfeit as you will on a real coin, because the composition of the metals is going to be different. And
I can use that one.
does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like you're not.
Well, this is sense.
Yeah, that, I mean, those are already pretty wrecked anyway. So
yeah, that's worth 4 cents. I mean, that even if you're, you know.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, no problem. But you can see.
And plus, I mean, it's a cool looking counterfeit coin. I just think you shouldn't wreck it. I don't know.
No, that's fine. This is one that was cleaned when I got it. And we'll talk about the coloration changes that happen when you clean that. But yeah, I don't mind doing that.
But it's going to be different than what would happen on an actual coin.
Right.
Because the metal composition is different. So.
I'm going to do this, and I'm only going to clean a portion of it, okay? Now, the reason that I'm going to do this is so that you can kind of see the difference when I'm done. So, again, you guys have seen the videos where people have done this. If you're saying something in chat, I will need the moderators to answer questions or to tag me or something, because I am not looking at chat right now. But yeah, people come over here and they scrub the holy crap out of their coins.
And it looks beautiful to them. And most of them don't know the difference.
Right. And it's important.
That used to be the thing to do.
Well, and so what I'm doing here is pretty harsh cleaning. Okay. Now there's other people who will take, olive oil, or they will take and put it in one of the, what do they call it? Hydrosonic cleansers, right? And I think that they can do that because it's like, well, we'll use distilled water, so there's nothing, whatever.
But in those hydrosonic cleaners, they're still shaking the coin up against a wire basket, so you're still getting abrasion.
Yeah.
Kinamine said, what did you put in it?
What did I put on to clean it?
Put on the coin. What did you put on the coin?
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste and Palmolive cleaner. Palmolive dish soap. Okay, so we've got that done, and I'm going to, actually, I'm just going to, that flip is nasty, so I'm going to throw that away real quick. And then let me wipe this off so you can see the difference of what happens. Okay. So you can definitely see the difference in that coin. Let me wipe off this. And Paul, I know you're getting triggered. But I had a number of people.
That's okay. I'm all right.
I had number of people
sitting
ask
there
me.
trembling, coffee's ready to spill.
I know I need to go get a cup of coffee.
I just topped mine off beforehand.
I had to wait for it to percolate.
But if you guys see this, the one thing that you're seeing right now clearly is the distinction in color, right? You're going to see how that color is kind of a pinkish hue. Okay. It doesn't even look copper colored. It kind of turns it. Oh, what would you say? It's not quite a salmon color. It's
It looks like polished brass.
yeah, basically, yeah.
I mean, it looks polished. I mean, and that's people say, oh, that makes it look good. Well, it might, but it does take the actual value away because it's not supposed to look like polished brass.
Do you have your scope set up to show them all the little scratches?
I'll change that here in just a second. I've got a method to do that. But what I want you to really look at is, so you see this, okay? Obviously you can see the color. I don't have it. Yes, invisible. That's exactly right. If you look, kind of a rose gold color, Kinamine. That's correct. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, what you're seeing, obviously, looking at this, you see two distinct variations of color, right? And so when you see this, now, granted, sometimes you can have harsh cleanings that people have done kind of mischievous things and tried to retone it, or they, artificially tone their coins. It happens a lot with silver coins. Okay, this silver coin, this is a fake 85cc Morgan. We'll talk about that one here in just a minute. But when you're looking at these particular things, it's important to kind of understand the distinction of what you're seeing. But when we talk about light, this is what I want you to notice. And if I tip this up, if you look at the front of Lincoln's face, see how it's all washed out. Before you could see the details, if I turn it this way where you can't see the light, you can still see the surface of the coin. But when I bring this up and bring it into the light, the coin is completely washed out. It's flat. It's a general reflection. You've taken all the high and low points off of the coin. Those micro scratches, micro abrasions have physically changed the surface of the coin. It's removed that luster, even though...
That, and you're removing, well, that's a 44, 80 years of oxidation too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing people don't realize on brown coins. They want to make a brown coin look red. A brown coin can still be valuable. It's got oxidation on it that turned it brown. And that's what happens to metal when oxygen gets on it.
Yeah. So when you look at the reflections, and I'm going to try and change this a couple different ways. When you look at the reflection in this, you can see how on the left-hand side behind, you can still see that kind of lustery glow that happens. If you change the light, you can see the light reflects differently off of it. Whereas it's either the light shines bright or the light doesn't on the area that we cleaned to the front of Lincoln's face. And so it's really important to kind of understand what's happening. Now, I'm going to change the setup here in just a second and show you kind of what happens with the surface of the coin so you can see the scratches that happen But it's important to look at that. The other thing is if you look at this, I scrubbed it really well. If you look inside that R in trust, you can see that it's still loaded with dirt. Okay. Everything else is clean, but the R is captured. Now, if you look at this very closely, and I'll zoom in a second, I've got, I talked about being fancy. I got my Gatorade bottle here. Hold on. I got to adjust this really quickly. And this thing is so different because it's so high off the coin. So we're at
holy moly.
Really close. Really zoomed in. But when we look at, and I apologize, every time I move, it's going to bounce just because of the table that it's on. So when you look at the R in this particular coin, you'll see that even around the devices, even though we cleaned it, you still have dirt. All right. Now, you're still going to have dirt in some of the devices just because of wear. But if you have a coin that's really, really clean and the only place that's dirty is around all the devices, it's a really good indicator that the coin has been cleaned.
It's funny because you'll see sometimes on like older Morgans, you'll see like a pink residue, pinkish color residue around the devices and stuff because they used to use a polishing compound that was pink, and it would leave the residue just like right around the devices, and it's so funny when you see that sometimes. Like,
I actually have.
Really? What's that pink?
Yeah.
I got a coin in the basement.
I am not sharing that screen, so hold on just a minute. Let me get.
Okay, I just want to let you know this is a good way. This coin has been touched with something.
So let me make
this. I think it was just acetone to take a grease blob off.
All right. Okay, you're gonna have to.
It hasn't been harshly cleaned. You can see like the B in Liberty, you've got the dirt that goes well above it, well below it, and inside, and even on top of it. You see it on the loop of the B. That hasn't been cleaned. I think that there was a glob of grease right there.
On the S?
On the S. That somebody removed with acetone.
Something.
Yeah, just right there. I mean, the rest of the coin's beautiful. Here's a good thing. If you're ever looking at 31S, there's a good marker for a legitimate 31S. I think there's 5 die pairs. But you look at the rest of the coin and it's...
You mean like a glob of mint grease?
Glob of something. There was something obviously on the mint mark.
I don't think it was mint grease.
I don't know what it was. It's kind of convenient that there's a mark right there. Of course, there's toning, straight toning right here.
There's toning, and sometimes those mint marks are punched in, like they have like a sunken look around. So
that
it's possible.
This might not be cleaned at all.
It's possible that that's just a bit of toning.
I got a great deal on this coin, so.
And that's that. Yeah, that 31S. Yeah. That is a key date, folks, just in case you're wondering. Many of you already knew that, but still.
But I figured I would show you that to see what people are trying to get off. People would try to get this off right here. And then you would still see it, if you can see my little pointer, on the inside. You can't get way down in there without totally abusing the coin. I mean, you hear people use a rose thorn. That's not a bad idea, but you still have to be careful because
you have to be careful.
A knife to it.
Mm-hmm.
In oxidation, anybody who's sanded on a car or sanded wood, when you take something abrasive to the top of a coin, it does the same thing, even though it's in much finer detail than a piece of wood.
Buff the wood. Buff the wood. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some coffee.
But I just figured this would help you out where you were trying to show that.
No, I appreciate it. The other thing, oops, I hate it when it does that. No, I don't want that there.
Here, try to look for micro.
Yeah, so it's going to be hard because this coin is pretty cheesed.
All right there, you can see.
But you can see the little micro scratches that are in this, and you can see they run kind of east to west, northwest to southeast. And you'll see those kind of micro scratches. That was because when I was cleaning this coin, that was the direction that I was cleaning it in. And
I'm looking for a cleaned coin. I don't have one.
You'll see all through here, you'll see that all those scratches run the same way. Now, I know this is really shaky, and I apologize. Unfortunately, the table that I'm on, when I zoom in this close on the microscope, is really shaky, so I apologize. Now, here's something that's really important. If you can look on the rim, you can see these lines that go from the outside in. These are ley lines, right? This is from dye deterioration. And
those
so,
are not ley lines.
Or not ley lines, dye deterioration.
Yeah, radial flow lines.
Thank you. I appreciate the correction in that. Well, but it's a major distinction between this and surface scratching, right? And so if you look at the radial flow lines, and thank you for that. No, seriously, I don't ever want to speak wrong, and sometimes I do because of the term. There's so much terminology.
I'm going to speak up. Sorry.
Well, and I say this, and you understand what I mean by this, but I would expect it, right? Because it's all about getting the good information. So why don't you just put the coin into your Gatorade bottle? Well, because I wanted to zoom in a little bit so you could see it. The Gatorade bottle just happens to be at the right height. But you can see these lines. And again, so as I move it around, you'll see that there's those little scratches. And those scratches go kind of diagonal right here. You can see those micro scratches that happen that run counter to that, right? And so the coin itself is damaged, and so you won't be able to see all of that. And now I got to rotate this like 4,000 times to get there. But I just want you guys to be aware of kind of what you would see with somebody or when you have a coin that's been cleaned. I apologize. This is when I talk about I'm one focus end to the other. There are things that happen on a coin when you clean it. Now, Eric was talking about brown coins and how sometimes brown coins can be extremely valuable as well. A great example of that is that 31S, right? So when you look at that 31S, if you're looking at it in, let's say, AU53, you're talking $150 coin.
Yeah, that coin probably would grade higher than AU53.
Okay,
so it would depend, because you got to remember they don't look at those under a scope. And that coin actually has a great eye appeal and luster left on it, so it could get a mint state grade. I don't think it would. But here's a good picture of dye flow lines, if you want to
throw that up there. Okay.
You can see them running straight. They always push towards the outer rim. That you hear the L in the rim. That's basically caused by the same thing. It can be caused by two different things, actually. It can be caused by worn design on like the master hubs and stuff like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or it can be caused by this. You can see that all the outer devices are pushed out and kind of muffled
by dye wear. Yep.
By the dye wear.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see all the way around the coin. Look at the back of the head.
Yeah, they use the same master hub for decades.
They do.
And as it wears out, it kind of things move closer and closer. It shrinks. It's
in 1968 is a good example. If you look at 1968 cents, and then you look at 1969, they totally
changed
the design. And you can see it again, like in 74. And everybody goes, well, how come one lasted 10 years and this one only lasted 5? Well, the amount of coins they started producing was increasing exponentially at that point. You went from when they were making hundreds of millions in the 50s to billions in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, there's years that they make 8 billion Lincoln cents, which is a whole lot of Lincoln cents.
A whole lot.
I think the average is around 4 billion usually. But when you get into like 55D, I don't think they might not even made 1 billion coins that year. So now this coin, that coin has great luster. When you look at it, I'll put it into the other camera that has my icon on it. This coin actually has really good luster.
Yeah, it looks like the one that I was showing earlier. That
when
54.
It's a luster bomb.
Yeah, when you look at that and you go, "Oh my God!" Under the magnification, it looks terrible. Yeah, you're magnifying it like 80 times. So you see stuff that the bare eye doesn't see. You see stuff that a 10x loop doesn't see.
So that's a really good distinction also when we're talking about, grading coins. They're not grading coins under a microscope. They're looking at things with like a 5x loop.
They're not even looking at them with a 5x. If you're lucky, they're looking at them under a magnifying glass. 90% of the coins that you get graded, if you knew how long the grader had it in his hand, you would faint. It literally, in grading, first impression means a lot.
Yeah, seconds.
It's like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, you're lucky to get 10 seconds. I mean, a lot of these graders, I'm acquainted with a couple of them, and both of them said the same thing. Most of the grading companies want to do, like if you're doing Silver Eagles, they want you to grade a monster box in an hour. That's 1,000 coins.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Eric, you were talking about the 1955 Denver, 563 million was the mintage on that. Not even a billion.
That's why the hubs and the master dies lasted longer. When you get into 68, you're talking billions of coins, and it's only 10 years. Actually, 60D, I think there's a ton of 60Ds also.
Yeah, so 59 is 1.2 billion, 60 is 1.5 billion, 61, 62, 63 are 1.7, and then you hit 64, which is one of the highest at 3.7 billion. And then you see you see the 3.5, 3.7 until you get into the 70s. And the 70s, then it goes to 4, 5, 7, 10 billion. The last one of the 1982, the brown cents, had 10.7 billion coins.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy amount of coins. But here's an interesting thing, and I'm not sure of this. This is just a question that has come up. How many coins were minted in 83 and 84?
How many coins? Are you talking coins altogether or just cents?
No, just pennies. It probably goes across most of the denominations.
So you have, let's see, 84, 13, 21.
You're still getting in the
27. So about 22 billion.
Well, that's total coins.
Total coins for PD&S.
Okay. My thought was, and it lately it happens. Like right now, everybody goes, how come there's no 2024 coins? Well, the mint was pushing coins in 2023 to stop inflation, or to stop, you don't want to go into a recession. 82 was a year that Black Monday occurred.
82 and 83 also didn't have any mint sets.
Right, but I'm just saying, you look at the years after there was a potential blip in the economy, and the coin production goes down because they're recovering money out of circulation. Like right now, people go, how come they're not minting a lot of coins? They're not minting a lot of coins because they're trying to pull money out of circulation.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And when bills are the same way. They're pulling in more bills than they're printing right now, just because they were trying to make us not go into recession or depression. So they just pump the money out there. They release bunches of money. And I was wondering if it went back as far as that. I know that you look at 2009, that's when the housing crash was. There is not many coins minted after the housing crash. You look at, like I say, 2024, they definitely say that the mintage is down. There's no proof yet. We won't know till 2025, but I'll bet you look and it'll be one of the lower years because they're trying to reclaim money.
Well, the mint also sits on tons of coins. You think about the GSAs and you look at what happened with the GSAs in the Carson cities. They had how many millions of coins sitting down in the basement in one of the giant vaults there, just sitting there, right? They have stacks and stacks and racks of coins that when they need them, they're able to send them out. But otherwise, they just sit there.
I wish I could remember the date. I had an old dealer, and this would be back in the late 90s, that I used to talk to a lot. He's been dead for years. And he talked about there was a Morgan dollar. For some reason, I want to say it's like a 1901 or 1904. Oh, there was like 7 known or 6 known. And when the GSA horde came out, it totally ruined it. These people paid thousands and thousands of dollars for these coins back then. And when that government horde came out, there was a ton of them in there. And it totally made a key date not key anymore. I still think it's a semi-key date, though. But he always told that story.
So the year is 1903 New Orleans.
All right.
Perhaps one of the most notable stories upon the release of the GSA horde is the 1903 New Orleans. The coin went from supposedly being extremely rare, only a few known, worth over $1,000. This is back in the 70s.
Early 70s.
The coin went from being supposedly over nothing to significantly less, worth close to $100. Yeah, people lost 90% of their investment overnight.
Yeah, he said people cried over that.
Yeah.
So you talk about storing coins. I don't think they're in the business, but banks store coins. I had a friend back early 2000s that his bank got bought out by another bank, and he said, "You've got till this time you can buy these coins from me," because the bank, it wasn't even on an inventory. They just had bags of coins in their vaults. And he ended up buying a few hundred bags of Lincoln cents and some nickels and dimes and stuff like that. But they went all the way back to like 1956 when the bank just had them sitting there. That's probably something that would not happen too much. Omaha Bank Hoard, that's another thing you hear, was the same deal. The bank just had a ton of coins sitting in the vault.
Well, and that's the thing when you talk about some of these hoards. That was one of the things when I was looking, because you guys know I've done a bunch of stories on hoards. Let me do this.
Sorry for the... I don't know how we...
Can I answer Kenemine's question just real quick?
Yeah, fire away.
Up there. I'm not sure what the detergent that they use is, Kenemine. So the coins are annealed and quenched and cleaned, rinsed, whatever, in between the blanking and the upsetting. So they anneal them, then they cool and quench and clean the blanks before they are upset. Then they go through the rest of the minting process. But I'm not exactly sure what detergent they use. I know that the milk spots, like the Canadian Royal Mint or the Canadian Mint or whatever, they changed their the detergent on theirs, and it's kind of alleviated most of their milk spotting that they get. So I'm not really on our circulation coins. I'm not sure. Now our copper plated zinc cents don't get annealed at all. So we get those straight from someone else, and then they pretty much just go to press. But they're not annealed at all. The rest of our coins are quenched and annealed and but I don't know what they use.
I had always heard that it was a sulfur-based product,
Something, yeah.
and that's why you get the spots in some of the weird spots on Lincoln Sense is because when it got dirty, it would leave a residue, and the residue, if you know sulfur and copper, it turns black or blue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I had always heard caused the black spots, like
The black spotting, yeah,
yeah.
But they don't anneal the copper plated zinc planchets because they're soft enough and whatever. So
the U.S. Mint states that it's a combination of cleaning and anti-harsh tarnishing agents.
Anti-tarnishing, yeah, I knew they did that too. But.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I'm trying to. They call it something water, and I've seen something on it. I'm trying to find the name of it as soon as I find it.
Dirty water.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it's called, but I'll find it while we continue because there's the Mint talks about what they utilize, and I just need to find the item, but I'll continue to look for it.
Yeah, I don't see anything that actually gives a breakdown of what's in it, but like I said, I've always heard that it was sulfur based for some reason.
I just know you can't. I know those black spots. You're in black and green looking, whatever they are. Those you can't get those off.
No, and that is like I say,
actual true milk spots you can't remove either. You may be able to temporarily make them look better, but they will always come back. And sometimes it can take a couple years, few years for them to even show up.
That's right. And I know that, like, I had always heard the early 50s, late 40s, early 50s at the Philadelphia Mint, they used the wash tags too long. And that's why finding high quality Lincoln Cents was so hard. But you got to remember that they're probably washing all the coins in this wash too. So you're getting all sorts of debris from the silver coins and everything. And sulfur and silver reacts. So, and it makes like dark toning. Copper and sulfur reacts, and it makes blue, green. If you've ever seen copper sulfate, it's what they clean drains with. It's like bright blue. If you use copper sulfate in your pool, it'll turn all your chrome black. So you actually
that's why certain years, of commemoratives and certain years of, the different silver coins and stuff toned and some didn't. Maybe they were experimenting with different cleaning agencies agencies, cleaning compounds or.
Yeah, I think there is years that they changed in. So who knows what they actually use now?
Right.
But I do know, like I say, in the 50s, it was always blamed on a sulfur wash.
Yeah. Sulfur.
You didn't, like I said, Frosty, I can see him looking.
He is.
But it's hard to say. I haven't heard anything.
So there was an article I read a long time ago that talked about what exactly it was, because there was a discussion between mint officials and the Royal Mint on things like milk spots. And I'm trying to find that article, but I don't remember where I saw that.
I have seen that a discussion like that on one of the coin community pages, Coin Talk, or
yeah, I can't remember where I found that. But they actually had I'm trying to remember who did that. One of the channels in our community did one where they actually talked to the Royal Mint. And the Royal Mint was saying, we've talked to the U.S. Mint because they don't have issues with spotting. They don't get the milk spotting. They don't get
channels? Nick Molnar?
No, it was a bigger channel. I just don't remember which one. I don't want to be naming them off until I can figure out what it is. But anyway, I'm stuck in a rut, and I'm going to lose the intent of what I wanted to talk about.
All right.
But I'll find it, kin of mine, and I'll make sure you have the information.
Is planchets are pickled in a dilute sulfuric acid wash.
Pickle.
Oh, and oakite, whatever that is. Or
Sounds like a drink you'd pick up at a bar.
And that's from
That
NGC.
was weird. Yeah. So one of the things, rabbit hole. This happens all the time here. I mean, I'm working with these two. Nothing ever stays on topic.
Well,
No. Well, but the thing is that
she asked a little while ago.
well, and again, kid of mine, I appreciate you asking the question. I don't mind going off track if we're answering questions in chat. That's the whole reason that we're here. But again, I will find the answer. I will get you the answer, and then I will share with you exactly what it is, because what's important to me is that if you have questions, and sometimes the answer is we don't know, but it may mean reaching out to the Mint and saying, hey, I want to talk to you about some of the processes. I have a channel. This is what's going on, and I would like to know more, and I'll see what I can do about scheduling an interview. So I'll do what I can to find those answers for you. Okay. So
All right. Oakite. Oakite is another acid. It's designed to remove light grease, oil, and stop dirt, flux, rust, and oxidation. So that is what they use.
Okay.
Is oakite. And it's basically a very mild sulfuric acid solution. The planchets are not washed after they are struck. And I do think they used to be washed after they were struck. They used to be rinsed, I believe.
Cooled or something.
And the chemical is called oakite 33. So you don't know how long oakite 33 has been on the market. That might be something that is new.
I actually have oakite up. Oh, excuse me.
Miss you.
I knew it was coming. I couldn't hit my mute button. I got a new thing, and it's on the back side. And I was like, ah.
Yeah, it doesn't say how long it's been in production for. But I'm sure that they use some other sulfur base, which sulfuric acid is sulfur based.
Gary Huffman says, got my counterfeit coin back. Frosty, man, that's a beautiful looking fake. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Gary, for sending it to me. I was able to look at it and get some information on the coin and kind of look at what things look like. It really helped me kind of understand. He sent me a really nice seeded counterfeit, and it obviously had a C on it, counterfeit. But it was just a cool coin. So Gary, I appreciate you sending it to me, letting me look at it, kind of study it a little bit, and I'm happy to get it back to you. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, bud. Your book is going to be a while before you get that one back, though, because I just haven't had time to look at it. But I know that's going to be coming home, because I need to do a part 2 on that.
All right. Oakite has been available since 1909. Is it a coincidence?
Who developed it?
Oh, I just closed the page.
It'd be curious to see if somebody like who does all the blanks. Is it Sunshine Mint or something like that?
No, that's for our ASEs.
All right. Oakite. Just says it's a division of Oakite Products.
Okay, products.
And it is now a member of the Chemitol GmbH group, which means it's somewhere in Europe as the owner now. But it sounds like it was started out as Oakite Products.
NALTIC Industries.
That's kind of a weird name for 1909.
I got my 2020 Fair World's Fair money proof coin,
And
it's
is it everything you thought it would be?
It is everything I thought it would be, and it's in my
Well, pull it
little
up.
hands, and I'm happy about it. Well, you were talking about something. We got all sidetracked.
Oh,
Yes,
we
we
always
were
get
talking
sidetracked
about
here.
Bitcoin. Oops, sorry guys.
It's Eric's fault. Eric did it.
It was me this time.
It was Mine's fault. Hang on.
Okay, 33. Solvents and surfactants.
Surfactant. You have surfactant on the outside of your lungs. Okay, hang on. One moment, please.
Here's a little cool thing about that. The effect of prolonged boiling is loss of solvent and a rate of metal loss after 24 hours immersion in oak by 33 at 5% volume. So you'll lose 33% of the metal if you're using a 5% solution. So they're running this through very, very quickly, but if they leave it in too long, they could cause damage to the coin.
What happened?
I was just talking about the negative effects of that compound they use. But again, remember, folks, that they are cleaning this stuff prior to the strike. So when this goes through the washing and upsetting mills, right? So it goes through the washing and then the drying. Now when they're drying, it's basically an oven, like they have the high temperature go through.
That's the annealing. Yeah.
And so,
well, it's annealed before.
But it goes through after cleaning. It goes through another.
Yeah, there's a video on it. It's like a wire basket that kind of rotates slowly with hot air, I believe, being blown on it.
Yeah, the dryer.
The oven. But anyway, once that's done, it goes to the upsetting mill, and then it gets. So when they talk about cleaning the planchet, that happens prior to the strike, so it doesn't affect the luster, and so that's how they're able to clean those planchets and do that and not affect the luster, because the luster happens at the time of the strike, not before they clean the coins or they clean the planchets. Excuse me. Hold on. I have to make you big, and then I have to bring you back over, and then I have to make you big again.
Oh, that pretty.
That's cool.
Isn't that pretty?
That's cool. Who sent you that goodie?
So Adam went to. I thought that they were only going to let people get one a piece of these. But Adam was able to, between Adam and Farm Dog, they were able to get the whole panel one.
Oh, that's cool.
They just made people fill out a card.
Yeah, I would have loved to have went there and got one of these.
Yeah, and it's an actual coin. It's got a $1. This one, and then they had a $5 silver one, and then a gold, I don't know, $10 or $20, I guess, gold coin.
Orta Bullion says hi, Paula.
Who? Sorry, hi. Orta. Yeah. So I'm tickled pink about getting this.
Yeah, that's really
Super
cool.
excited.
Yeah, really cool.
They did a great job, and then it came with in a little card that has all its information, and then it's got the
the pregnancy. Oh my gosh.
Wow, where did that come from?
This, I didn't get this guy. So this guy, if you ever watch the CCAC meetings, the Mint meetings for the CCAC, he's actually on the board too. He is the coiner on the board. And he talks a lot to the people on the board about how a coin is, how a die will strike up, how a design will strike up if there's any problems with that. It's really cool. And then the ANA president's signature. So yeah, I'm just so happy about that. So thank you once again to Adam and Farm Dog for getting those. And there go off with the camera. Thank you for letting me show that. I got that in the mail yesterday, and I'm so happy about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I usually get. I'm trying right now. I'm trying to get one of the. I try to wait usually like a year or so for them to get it from the third, the aftermarket. But I try to get the pandas that come out every year. Because they put out a panda for the World's Fair of Money. And I enjoy getting those. Because those are really cool. But I don't know if I don't imagine that this is replacing the panda. I'm sure they will still come out with the panda for this year for the World's Fair of Money.
Yeah, it's a really cool coin. I just like the fact that they finally they actually did the coin instead of just another metal.
Coin, yes.
Yeah,
First
I think
time.
that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean the pandas, the pandas are technically coins, but this is they have a metal. The World's Fair of Money always has a metal too, but this is the first time it's ever been an actual coin. So yeah, Minted Assets did that.
That's really
and it
cool.
has a minted 1,000. These are a mintage of 1,000.
And what was the name of that?
Minted Assets is who produced, and it was through, let's see, who is the mint? The mint is Ascension Island is the issuing authority, not the mint. That's the issuing authority, because you have to have an issuing authority to have a monetized coin. Ascension Island, and it's $1, and Osborne Mint is the mint. But this is Minted Assets with in conjunction with the American Numismatic Association put that coin together.
Yeah, I was trying to see if you could purchase the thing, and I haven't been able to find it.
They had them for purchase. They might be gone already. The gold.
They had the silver ones for purchase.
And gold.
And gold, yeah, the silver and gold ones for purchase. They are, last time I checked, I've been looking at their website, they are sold out. They had a 600 mintage on the silver, and they sold them at the show, and I think they probably got snatched up by all the dealers.
Well, the one that they were looking at, I'm not sure, but the 1 ounce was like $130.
Yeah,
right,
129.
Near
Yeah.
4,000.
Yeah. But I can imagine that the dealers probably snatched all those up, and they are probably in encapsulation as we speak. So you will probably be able to find them for like $300 in NGC and PCGS slabs, maybe CAC grading.
I don't see CAC doing something like that, but they
I don't
might.
think so. Yeah, I don't know.
I would
I don't know
expect
that
them to
you
do
said it.
something. Yeah, I would expect them to do something.
Well, they're not very into. They're kind of more in the mainline numismatics.
Yep.
They try. They haven't seemed to show a lot of interest in non-numismatic issue type stuff. But that could change. That might just be because they were overwhelmed with what they had already.
Well, but again,
Well,
remember,
and-
this is a coin too. It's not a metal.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're doing world coins yet. Which this would technically be considered a world coin. But they may do something. They may, I don't know. If they did it, it would be because they had special coin, special show labels, and it was just a special show thing. But I don't know.
Freaking awesome. No, that is not a 46D over S, or it wouldn't have been an example of cleaning. Yeah. Nice try though. He sees that
He's gonna
little
look.
bit.
I bet you he's gonna look.
Well, it's just
No, it's the wrong mint mark type, I think.
yeah, and it's just a reflection, so just rotate it so you can't see that particular reflection. But let's go ahead and get back to this because we kind of went all squirrely and went way off topic.
No, you got me still up like front and center on StreamYard, so I can't see nothing else.
Oh, hold on just a sec.
You said my logo.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll just watch the YouTube side.
There we go. Yeah, I keep forgetting that I have that open because I was just displaying the other screen, so apologize for that.
There it is.
But again, when we're talking about cleaning, and I apologize for the deviation, but thank you for answering that question, and Ken of mine, thank you again for asking the question. I appreciate it. You can definitely see the difference in the cleaning of this, right? And so it's really important when you look at this. Now, I'm going to move this scent out of the way. Again, you can see obviously the clear difference there. But I want to talk about these. Okay, now this is a counterfeit. It is magnetic. And this is something, she was talking about the devices and the pink stuff that you would see. Where did my little pen go? Oh, it fell on the ground.
Got to AFK real quick, Frosty. I'll be right back.
Yep, that's fine. What she's talking about is the edges around the devices. When they would use a polishing compound, it would leave a residue around each one of the devices, right? So you'd see these little pinkish hues. What you're looking for, and so there's a couple different things. Obviously, you're not going to see it on this coin because this is a counterfeit. But again, I want to show everybody that when I'm doing this stuff, I wanted to show a couple different examples. I have another Morgan. Let me grab that real fast.
Can I see the reverse on that? Is that the CC?
It is the CC.
I just want to see if it's the common counterfeit reverse or not. It is.
Yeah.
That is a common counterfeit reverse, and there is one big, huge marker on that, besides the mint mark, that I can tell you guys. Do you know what it is, Frostbyte? Hello?
Is it the star?
It is not. It is the slash on the eagle's bust, on the eagle's chest.
Right here?
See that slash? Yep, that slash right there. That is found on a lot. That is a common counterfeit reverse. Counterfeit. You find it on the Carson City and also on some of the S Mint counterfeits.
Awesome. I'll show you.
Yep.
Obviously, real, right? You can see the luster. You can see that cartwheel as I rotate that around. Okay. Obviously, that is Philadelphia mint. But when you're looking at these devices, so you can see the toning around the edge here. And again, I apologize for the lighting. You can see the toning around the edge. That's not dirt. That's actual toning.
Natural toning too.
Yeah. I have no idea. He wasn't talking to us. He was talking to his wife, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was asking. I was getting a coffee, and she was asking how much longer. I think she wants me to hang something on the wall or something like that.
A nice little die crack there between the R and the star. But again, when you're looking at this, you can see the definite luster that's there. But what I want to show you when you're looking at this is
Morning, JJ.
when you look at some of the devices. Let's pull this across. It's not a terrible, but what I want to look at is her eye, right?
And they're getting better and better at those counterfeits.
They are, right? And it's sad because you have to be even more careful. This is why it's really important to test your coins. You can't just do one test and be fine with it. But there are some tells on this, but that reverses what she showed you. But again, when you're looking at loss in detail in some of these areas. You can see how you can see how there's so much detail in the hair, and here it's just lost. You can only see like the major lines. Here there's a lot of different intricate information. You just don't see that in this particular one. And so again, looking at the difference of that, but what I wanted to show you was you'll see little scratches in the coins. You see those little areas there on the field. Okay, those are bag marks, general wear. You see there's like a little bit of a rub there on the one just above her forehead. And I'm not cleaning this one because this is a nice coin, but you would see scratches in the surface, and they're going to run, side by side, up and down, depending upon the direction. Now I'm way above the coin. If they do it this way, and then they do it this way, you're going to see cross-hatching patterns. Okay. So looking at the scratches aren't going to necessarily be uniform all the way across. But again, there are things you need to look for. Inside the devices, you'll see here it's really clean. You come back over to this other coin. You'll see here inside they're really clean. Now this coin hasn't been cleaned. It's just a fake. But again, you're going to be looking at inside the devices, inside the R in pluribus, inside the P, inside the B. And these are going to be some of the areas in which you're going to be able to tell whether something was cleaned or not. So I just wanted to
be careful not to mix up like actual like dye abrasions with scratches on the coin. Scratches on the coin are going to be incuse. Scratches on the die will be raised, and you see those a lot with like coins that have been stoned or abraded.
Isn't that called obtuse?
It's called obtuse.
It's called obtuse. He had to throw it out there,
I did.
So where did that first come from?
I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it on here.
Is it one of our favorite channels?
It's a different.
It might be.
It might be.
Is it one of the channels who stole the name from somebody?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
It is. Okay, yeah. I know who we're talking about.
Yeah, stole your podcast name.
Yeah.
Oh.
You and I are tracking.
Where I am too now.
I'm sorry. I'm so.
No. But see, here's the thing, right? Be up and up, folks. That's all you got to do. It's in relief. Yes.
In relief, that is correct.
That is correct, Aunt. Yes.
So, but that's all I really had for today. I just kind of wanted to, and we got way off track.
Good morning, Gatita.
I appreciate you guys letting me come in and chit chat. Let me pull this.
When do we not get off track?
That's for the best part of the show.
It is. It's with some of the best learning opportunities, teaching opportunities, or when things go sideways.
Well, and with us, things always go sideways.
Yeah, we're a little sideways.
But again, I had put this up here just because I wanted to do this. Number one, I wanted to also get some people to look at this and go, what in the hell is Frosty doing? But I had received a large number of questions regarding, well, how do you know a coin is clean? What happens when you clean a coin? What is the what's the purpose of not cleaning a coin? Why would you not do that? And again, I wanted to show some counterfeits and not necessarily go through and cleaning a bunch of coins, because then people are like, well, you just cleaned it there on the demonstration. I do understand why Paula and Eric told me to clean it with the other cent. It was only a 2 or 3 cent piece. It wasn't a 2 cent piece. It was only the worth was only 2 or 3 cents. Let me clarify. And again, all the coins that I had out, I had looked at beforehand, so I know that there were no RPMs or double die reverses, obverses, no errors, no strike throughs or things of that nature, because I wanted to make sure that we didn't, do something inadvertently. But what I really wanted to show you is cleaning the half of the coin. What happens? Looking at the removal of the surface, looking at the micro scratches that happen, looking at the stuff inside the devices that you would see, look at the edge of the devices, and just having a general conversation. I think, in my personal opinion, this is Frosty's opinion, it's not fact. These other two can correct me if I'm wrong in that. But it's important that sometimes you see things done and explained why you don't do them, so that you can see it firsthand. That way,
I think people should play with some coins and try cleaning them and understand why you don't clean them by actually cleaning a half dozen coins.
Kid of Mine says the half king coin is here. You got it, dude.
Half the clean coin.
Send me an email and I'll send that to you. Chappie, thank you for the gifted membership, brother. I appreciate you, bud. Thank you so much.
Dip like half the coin in Easy Zest.
Yeah.
And then use some other cleaner. I mean, you can even use MS-70 and other stuff. I've heard of people using Simple Green.
Put a bunch of them in your dishwasher with a lemon pod.
That lemon juice. There's another acid.
Well,
lemon juice.
You guys want to do something really fun?
Vinegar, and baking soda. That'll do.
That's exactly where I was going, Paula. Yeah. That's exactly where I was going.
Vinegar and baking soda. That'll do you real quick.
See, if you really want to clean with vinegar and baking soda, don't pour vinegar first. Pour the alkaline first, because like when they restore automobiles or they restore metal things, they do what's called an alkaline bath. The alkaline bath will get the debris out. Will eat and sometimes you have to leave in an alkaline bath for like a day or two. Then you take the coin out and you dump it into a vinegar bath, and it'll fizz up like a fizzy. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the things. Alka-Seltzer.
Well, I do it all the time for my kitchen sink.
Yeah, but a lot of people when they think of vinegar, well, they put it in vinegar and then they put the alkaline in, and then you don't get the benefit of the alkaline bath, because the alkaline is what takes off paint, grease, grime, debris. The acid bath takes off oxidation, metal, stuff that the alkaline cannot dissolve. It actually takes part of the structure away. The acid does, where the alkaline doesn't.
You guys want to do something really fun? I hear a lot of times people say that one thing that you can clean coins with, is olive oil. And
that's an acid.
Olive oil is an acid. You want to see something fun? Take a coin, leave it in olive oil for a few weeks, and then come back.
Don't do it with an ancient, because it'll dissolve.
It'll dissolve the ancient.
It's cool. You used to be able to buy these ancient. They were like clusters of ancient coins.
And get them apart.
And the direction was soak in olive oil for 60 days.
And then you come back and there would be no coins left.
No, the coins were there. The clump was smaller. Some of the stuff had disintegrated, but it was actually turned into like limestone. There was rocks holding it together. You had to penetrate enough to get them off. And
You know what I would like to see someone do? A frostbite.
Hint, hint, wink,
So
wink.
so this is something that we see a lot, and you guys probably, if you do a lot of searching of Lincoln cents and stuff, you'll see it a lot too. Silver pennies and gold pennies.
Yep.
Cents. There is actually a way, so they used to do it in school all the time.
That's
There's
right. Those
actually
were
a little
mercury
experiment. Yes. Well, not just the mercury. So those were plated mercury.
Right.
Are you talking about electroplating?
Yeah, I'm just talking. I guess that's what it is. It's a way to change the color of these coins.
Yeah, so you can do it. You can do it by charging. You can electrically charge. You have to have the medium, and then you actually have to charge through electrolysis. You put it in salt water, and then you have that silver compound, and then through electrolysis, it'll actually pull the metal from the silver over to the mercury dime or to the whatever.
I did it with my grandson with a nail and a copper cent, and it turned the nail copper. But I would like to see how you can pull up, so you can Google turning a penny, just say turn a penny silver.
Yeah, we definitely can do that. I can get a setup going. I'll run a vent.
Zinc and sodium hydroxide, which is soap. So zinc and soap to make a copper penny gold.
Yes, yeah. There's a simple way, like, because I see it. So it's not plating. When we consider what we consider plating, because we do get, there is that, you do get plated coins. This is different. This is an actual process that it will turn them gold colored and silver colored. And we get those a lot in the email, and I'd love to have somebody actually do that. I'm sure there are videos. In fact, I think I've seen
there is. I'm looking at one right now.
Yeah, I would like to see somebody in our community do it.
I'll do it.
The guy's name is Nerd Rage. And
that may be the one that I saw.
Yeah, I'll do it, Paula. No problem.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see somebody in our community do it, just so that I have a video of somebody we know that I can link.
Here's another cleaning thing, and I have seen somebody do this, and it actually can be very effective for like dirt in a column or something like that, is electrolysis. As long as you go very quickly and it's not real aggressive. I actually know a couple people that have done electrolysis and it's passed through PCGS and not been noticed.
But again, caveat here. These people probably had a really good understanding of electrolysis and what they were doing.
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
So you want to be very careful. We are not condoning cleaning at all. Period. End of story.
My suggestion is if you have a coin that you want to retain its numismatic value, its collector value for whatever reason, don't touch it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
But like, hey, I heard of somebody when we were at the Dalton show. They said, if you ever froze carbon spots off of a coin, I've seen it done with liquid nitrogen before. And you can always still tell. And they were like, no, you freeze it in water and then you smack it and break the ice off the coin and it'll pull the carbon spot off. So I've never tried it.
Coin Dragon, and I don't know if he has the video. He may have a video of it. But he did this freezing, heating, or freezing, thawing on coins that he would get that were crusty and it worked every single time. And it did not harm the
the natural skin of the coin or anything.
But where the carbon spot, there's always a remnant because the carbon spot is actually
Yes.
oxidation. So it actually loses the metal where
Mm-hmm.
the carbon spot was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something you have to remember, that it might be worth more with the carbon spot.
Well, that's like verdigris. If it's been on the coin for any amount of time, even if you get it removed, it will change the surface underneath it of the
That
coin.
and wax, the like rolling machine wax or grease.
Oh, I didn't know the wax did that too.
Oh, well, it doesn't take away from the coin. It leaves the coin is a different color. Where you remove it, it'll be real bright. Whereas you get a 1960 coin that's been sitting out and it's got this grease
Because
on
it doesn't oxidize underneath it.
That's right. It's oxidizing at a different rate than the coin that's not covered with the grease. So it actually, the colors are mismatched.
So in that discussion, I'm working on a video right now on kind of a freezing thing regarding scents. I've still got to get the final permission to do it, but when I do, I'll be working with one of the local universities on a project. The project's probably 3 to 5 months out from being complete, but I think it'll be a fun video. I think it'll be very educational, talking about copper, zinc, and some of the things you have to be careful with the freezing, especially on the zinc coins, and then a pretty dramatic example of what happens with the use of some of those methods. So,
like liquid nitrogen.
Yeah,
I've actually seen that done, and it worked. I mean,
yeah. Eric, don't give too much away. Don't give too much away.
Yeah.
Freeze.
I've never seen it put it in an ice cube tray and frozen in ice, and then break the ice to break the penny out of it, and that actually worked too, supposedly.
Yeah, Gary, when he did it, it didn't it's kind of a natural process, so it doesn't harm the. I mean, now don't rub it, or anything. Just let it just let it freeze thaw. And I think that he would rinse it in distilled water. So, yeah.
So Chappie and Kinnemine are having a discussion, and I've only got a couple minutes because I have to get out of here and go pick up Bifrost. But they're saying that they picked up coins that were asking about certain spots on coins. Kinnemine says the spots on new coins are just accepted as part of the normal coin. It's just an annoying blemish. Can you clarify if we're talking about the cents? Are we talking about the zinc and plating blisters? What are you guys referencing?
And because a lot of those white spots on cents, you can actually, without being aggressive, some of those will come off with just water and a Q-tip. But you got to be very careful. Even rubbing with a Q-tip.
You don't want to rub. You want to roll it.
You don't want to rub. You want to just kind of go right above it and kind of spin it and barely touch it. You're going to basically massage it.
Thanks, Farm Dog. Have a great day.
Bye, Farm Dog. Again, thank you so much for what you and Adam did for the panel. That was very, very sweet.
Hey, you.
Yeah, and I'll forgive you for not sending me one.
Right.
No, I it's cool that they sent you. It's good that they got you guys one. You guys can share, and you guys have a good impact on the community. So I think it's awesome that you guys got those. That's fabulous, and they're really beautiful coin. I just don't see spending $130 for it.
Well, that's for the silver. Mine's clad.
Those are milk spots, Kinnemine, and a lot of those can be removed. A lot of them can't. It depends on how long they've been there, exactly how big and thick they are. But that's basically like a water rinse or something that's dried and stayed on the coin from the wash.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember, when coins are struck, they almost become the metal almost becomes like a liquid, or I mean,
It does.
is
It becomes a very mild molten metal for just a few
Yeah.
fractions of it.
energy to strike a coin. And
Yeah.
like you said, it probably gets 1,500 to 2,000 degrees.
right. So anything that's left on that coin that including like any of the detergent or anything that's not completely rinsed off is going to get basically baked into that coin.
Yeah, it's flashed
It's
off.
going to become permanent part of that
Yeah.
coin.
Take care, Gary. Yeah, that's why they use lube, Chappie.
Lube.
Never mind. That was a terrible joke.
Women's quarters or even the scents. So the new scents do not get annealed.
They actually are not even produced by the mint. They're produced
No.
by some other company, something zinc
Yeah.
products. Like
we have
American Zinc
two,
Products or
I
something
think
like
now,
that.
two different people that we get them from. But they come straight from the distribution place and right to the striking chamber.
I was going to say, I think they come ready to strike. Rimmed
They
and
do.
everything.
They are upset and everything. They come ready to strike. So, yep. We don't have anything to do with those anymore. So,
All right, folks.
and we will never know what those companies, how those companies produce them, because they will not let anybody into the factories to see.
But yeah,
It's been
unstruck
tried.
blanks get out of the factories all the time because that's one of the
Yeah.
easiest unstruck blanks to get.
Yep. And you know, that's why it drives me bonkers when you see those slabbed as errors. It
Yeah.
drives me bonkers. So, whatever.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, folks.
Okay,
I'm going to
I
go
know
pick
you
up
will.
Bifrost. You all,
Bye,
thank you for
everybody.
coming
Have
in,
a good
hanging out.
day.
Paula and Eric, thank you for coming up. I appreciate you as always.
See you tomorrow.
All right, brother. All right, folks. Well, thanks for coming in again. Just a little bit of fun, kind of showing you guys and gals a little bit about what you see when you clean a coin. And again, you know, I had up here, I was showing counterfeits. I did show that on a real authentic coin at the request so they could understand what was happening with the metal. I do understand why they wanted to do that. I want you guys to understand that under no pretense do I clean a coin. If there's something that is really nice, whatnot, I might send it off for conservation, but there are inherent risks with doing that as well. So when you do that, really take time. If you have any doubts, any questions, usually if you have to second guess yourself, that's something telling you not to do it. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to go pick up my daughter. We're going to go hang out and pick up some stuff for her school. Go spend some time daddy-daughter day today. And I will see you guys periodically throughout other streams. Take care of each other. Be kind to each other. The economy sucks. And so look out for each other. All right. Love you all. Appreciate you. And I will see you in the stream.